Hey Gemini, welcome to 2023, the month of April. You're going to have a great month because Venus, the Lord of love and beauty and goodness and luck, is moving through the house of you, and it's going to be a lucky time as well. You're going to have some kind of power up with that Pluto Venus trine from your ninth house. It's going to give you a taste of some of the juices coming to you over the next 20 years. It's your first flavor of it during this month. Get ready to power up in your spirituality and also the potential for some success to do with the word international or foreign shores. And I love this month as well for you guys because of some super luck coming through on steroids in your 11th house of good spirit with a Jupiter Sun conjunction. I'm going to talk about all of that now before we get going into the breakdown of this month ahead for you. A little bit about who I am Lori Lothian. I am a whole sign house. That's my preferential house system astrologer using the traditional techniques of Hellenistic astrology, and I love asteroids. If you're new to my channel, however, you might want to learn a lot about what I do by taking a few of my courses. If you check my description box below, I'm teaching a lot. I teach classes every month, but I also teach big ones such as my Sky Reader, Be Your Own Astrologer, Time Your Best Life. This is the third time I'll be teaching it. It gets better. There's new content every time. It's going to be starting up in April. There is a wait list below, or by the time you see this video, maybe just an open cart to enroll. So welcome to my channel. And everything you need to know about me is in that description box, including how to get a reading with me. All right. So, of course, let's talk about the fact that the goddess of love and beauty and luck and goodness and friendliness is moving into your sign, right? This happens once a year, but it's always a good time for you. And it's extra special because of Pluto this time around, making it way more powerful and more successful and more financially lucrative than it normally is. So Venus comes into the sign of you, your body, your identity on April 11th, and she'll be there till May the 7th. She will before that be in Taurus, helping a lot of Gemini, Sun, Moon, but most accurate, usually rising sign, kind of clean up some of their bed pleasures and their addictions and their habits and patterns that may not be working for them all that much. Or on the other hand, if she didn't help you clean it up, she might have helped you indulge too much as well. So you've been going through some Venus back end stuff, working on the back end of your own inner life, self-sabotage. With Venus, a pleasure-loving being, sensual Taurian sign, it may have been an attempt to clear up some of those self-undoing pleasures of yours or overdoing the pleasures. But on the other hand, she's in her own sign. So you probably found a balance. She's coming out now, the other end of that, like 12th house transit. And you may have had a friend in a hospital. You may have had a friend going into a difficult time with her health or things like that, female likely. But that's coming to an end. And now you're going to have Venus moving through Gemini. And that is your sign. It's a great time for beautifying yourself, getting a new wardrobe, getting a new haircut, taking steps to fix your body in a way that makes you feel more lovely in some way. You'll feel more charismatic and persuasive, and others will sense that you're more friendly and likable. And all said and done, it's a great time to ask for a raise or a promotion, or to persuade a friend or a family member or anybody in your life to do something that you want them to do, including your children. So you're very capable of high levels of charismatic persuasion. So use it or lose it, because you only get it until May the 7th. May as well grab it while it's there. Finally, Venus coming through this part of your chart will draw your attention to the parts of the chart that she rules. Well, I already talked about the addictions and self-undoing. She owns that chunk of your real estate, but she also owns your romance house and your sexuality and your children house. That's the Libra 5th house. And so your attention may go very strongly to communicating with your children, helping your children, being in harmonious enjoyment of your children, or a lover, or your sexuality and a love relationship. And if you're a Gemini with an independent business enterprise, you are allowing Venus to help you exercise great luck and opportunity in your own business. That's going to be a lovely time between April 11th and May the 7th. Now, what will happen in the very beginning of this transit is she's going to form a trine to Pluto. And I've done a lot of videos, 3 videos on Pluto for all signs as he moves into Aquarius between May 23rd and June 11th. So you want to check that out on my channel, right? Because that's really important. But Pluto moving into your 9th house in a trine to Venus is very exceptional energy. It's the first time you've got the flavor of this in your entire lifetime. And it wasn't possible before now. And it will be true for the next 20 years. You'll get a taste of it every year. So I want you to pay attention, especially. I want you to like really put this on your calendar. I want you to write this down. If you are a Gemini, this is really a lovely energy. But how does it feel? That's what I'm going to ask you. So look around April 11th to about April the 15th, when that Venus energy is glowing and flowing up with Pluto. And this could be some power coming to you from a court situation, a religious institution, a third marriage, ninth house matters, a foreign land, an inward international, a foreign shore, things to do with book publishing, if that's a part of your world. And Pluto's bringing some kind of power and energy to you from there. And so those themes are kind of flowing and glowing for you in a positive way in April 11th to the 15th or 16th of the month. It could be you're planning a trip to a foreign place at the same time. And if you do, it should go very well, or you're even taking it and you might be having a great deal of excitement, transformation, and depth coming through from that story. Now, Venus is pretty busy when she goes through the first house, having what we call a mutual reception with Mercury. Mercury is going through Taurus, which is her sign, which is your 12th house, as she goes through the Gemini, your first house, part of the sky, which is Mercury's sign. So they're in each other's houses. And even though in traditional astrology, we call that an aversion because they're within a semi-sextile arrangement, there is still this mutual reception, and they have a phone call hotline to each other. So here's what I think is happening. Mercury is moving, alrighty, into your 12th house, and he will be there for a dog's age. Well, he'll be there from April the 3rd to June the 11th. That is extraordinary, and that is really amazing. That's a long transit, April the 3rd to June the 11th. This can definitely look like a time, because of a retrograde that starts on the 21st, it extends this day, where you're doing a lot of backroom deals and negotiation to do with anything in your life that requires sort of like secret meetings, backroom deals, wheeling and dealing. But it also can mean a lot of communication to and from foreign shores, especially commerce from foreign lands. If you have a PayPal, Stripe account and you collect revenue from around the world, or if you're an import-export business, or anyway expect revenue from foreign countries to be arriving, the Mercury is wheeling, dealing, and he's a god of commerce. So some of you Geminis are looking at commercial enterprise, really connecting with Venus during that long transit. Now, Venus is participating, right, with whatever Mercury's up to, but there's a short window of mutual reception. And that short window of mutual reception is when is that? Look at my calendar. That will be when Venus is in Gemini, April 11th. And from April 11th to May the 7th. So you've got this Venus chatting up with Mercury, helping him. So you're going to take possession of stuff that's going on there at the last 3 weeks of April. And before that, like before Venus enters into your house of you, before April 11th, she is in Taurus. So she will be with Mercury in Taurus, and they will be having a collaboration together. And that window of that collaboration can be very financially lucrative for any Gemini rising, especially Sun and Moon secondarily. That collaborative window of time, looking at my notes, give me a sec, will be Mercury's in there on April 3rd. So between April 3rd and 11th, expect you could really pull off some incredible financial gains if you have any financial endeavors that involve education or foreign lands or foreign international shores. Okay, keep that in mind. Or communications with somebody in those countries or from foreign lands. It's going to be very successful for you in that window of time. Now, moving forward, Mars is going to be moving through the sign of Cancer. That is his detriment. He's in his fall. It is an earnings house. And I know that's contradictory to what I just told you. So I acknowledge that. I do think Venus has a lot of strength with that Mercury reception to counterbalance this, but Mars in a money and resources house will be there from March the 25th to May the 20th, out of his dignity in his fall. Now, a fallen planet can rise, so there could be missteps in your resource management, finances, and the way you are operating in your buying and selling part of your story. And Mars will eliminate, and you may be wanting to sell a car or sell a home or sell something that you own. Be very careful during that time, because Mars, out of dignity, fallen, may be you buy something at too high a price or sell it at too low a price. So cautionary note. Mars can eliminate dramatically foods you should not eat, things you should not put in your mouth. He's also the god of surgery and scalpels and dermabrasion and lasers. And don't do it. I don't think I would for your face, or even surgery, dental surgery, because he's in his fall. And I think it would be a very unwise time for those things. Now, I'm not your medical advisor. I'm just telling you that I wouldn't myself have those things happen while Mars is in his fall in my second house. It involves facial stuff and teeth and all of that, and throat as well. Okay. So be cautious for that, March 25th to 20th, but then you could have a lot of drive, ambition, and focus and determination. And you might be really going for it with great gusto around resources and earnings at this time. So it could actually play out on your behalf as some positive direction for you. Be careful for your speech being passive aggressive, and, speak your mind clearly and try to just share what you're thinking without being passive aggressive. Basically, Mars, the house of speech, in its detriment can mean that you are giving someone the cold shoulder, silent treatment, or you're very passive aggressive in your speech patterns with somebody in your life. Be cautious. Don't do that. It's a choice, right? Super duper time coming up on the 7th to the 10th of the month with Mercury sextiling Mars. Well, Venus is sextiling Neptune. What does this mean for you? Mercury in the sign of Taurus. Yes, remember, he's going to be there all the way till June 11th. That's your 12th house. Will flow to Mars in your earnings house. So despite Mars's fallen position, this is financially excellent time for business stuff, for financial stuff, for commerce stuff for you. Yay, you all looks really, really good. Venus sextiling Neptune is offering a glow up to your 10th house of reputation and career. If you use video, Instagram, or any YouTube kind of thing where video is Neptune, storytelling is Neptune, photography, glamour is Neptune, in your career house, and you're getting a sweet love from Venus, a sextile from the house of your beautiful face and identity, your body, your sense of personhood. This could be a glow up in your career and reputation, visible space for you, where you just like, everyone loves you, you love you, everyone's happy about you. It's a bit of a movie star celeb vibe, okay, for you during the time of April 7th to the 10th. Now, one of the luckiest days of the year that happens every year is when Jupiter goes into the heart of the sun, not just conjunct, but cazimi, and that is on April the 11th. The reason it's important is that Jupiter will be invisible from the end of March to the beginning of May, and that means he's weak or impotent or off duty in bringing prosperity, goodness, wealth, expansion. But for the day, he is in the heart of the sun, and then he's superheroed out. Well, you can look for something good going on for you April 11th. It's a very lucky day in the house of luck, the 11th house of good spirit, which can bring pennies from heaven and windfalls, great gains from your career, favors from people in high places, especially with Jupiter's sun. Somebody very influential could look favorably upon you and offer you some kind of good thing that you want. Your hopes, dreams, and wishes may look like they're all coming true around April 11th, and you can harness this to ask someone in power for a favor. April 11th looks really good on you, and so pay attention to that luck, joy, happy, goodness, prosperity, good fortune vibe in a good fortune house on the 11th of the month. It's fleeting, so you may as well grab it. And then Venus is in a difficult aspect, a square to Saturn. Saturn moving through your 10th house of career for the next 3 years is sort of saying, is this a mountain you want to keep climbing? If you do, we'll make you a powerful expert authority and give you great, powerful success here because of all your hard work that you've been doing for at least the last 14 years. However, if you climb the wrong mountaintop, Saturn will say, well, let's quit. Let's get out of here. Let's constrain this mountain climb top thing. It's not for me anymore. So some people will quit their career in the next 3 years because they realize even retire. Saturn through the 10th house can be a retirement transit. So if you've been off track, on the wrong track, you thought that's the mountain you were going to go, or you're just done with that mountain, that's what's happening. Now there's a little bit of a Saturn-Venus tussle here, a square. It's like disagreement. And Venus is in the house of you, and you're all glowed up and beautiful and feeling good about yourself. And Saturn's in the house of your career. It's the boss. It's somebody above you. It's a power person, like raining on your parade, squelching your enthusiasm. It's a no. If you're making an ask, it's a no. You say to your boss, I just want to retire next year. And your boss says, we need you for 2. You ask your boss for a raise or promotion. They say the budget's too tight. It's definitely that vibe. And when did that happen? I didn't tell you. It's the 14th and 15th or so of the month, give or take a couple of days. So just be aware of that. It's probably not the best time to ask for that promotion or raise, okay? I wouldn't. April the 23rd to the 27th. April the 23rd to the 27th, we are going to experience this energy of Mercury sextiling Mars. Mercury sextiling Mars. Now, at the same time that the sun is sextiling Saturn in different places, but we're going to talk about it. So Mercury is going to be moving in the sign of Taurus. Remember that long transit for like ever and ever, your 12th house. And he's talking to Mars, who's trying to make you money and be resourceful and also eliminate bad foods and addictions and all of that. And with Mercury supporting Mars, it could be the elimination of an addiction with some greater ease, getting some new information that you needed in order to eliminate an addiction or bad habit. Or it can be some kind of financial positive development, especially if revenue was generated on foreign shores and foreign lands, barter and trade, PayPal and Stripe accounts included, April the 23rd to the 27th. And what I mean by PayPal and Stripe, I mean you can generate revenue from anybody in the world who can take your payment processor, basically, okay? And that will be very auspicious on the 23rd to the 27th of the month. As well, at that time, the sun will sextile Saturn. The sun is moving through Taurus in your 12th house, and Saturn is in your 10th. This is great backroom deals and negotiations that work on your behalf in your career. This is some foreign land and revenue story as well that can amplify your success and authority as a master or expert in some kind of career endeavor. Or it could finally be the boss saying yes because you did enough backroom deals and negotiations to get that raise, promotion, early retirement agreement, or whatever it is you're looking for there. Anything else? There is an eclipse, but I'm doing a whole eclipse video. So if you want to check that out, you need to subscribe to my channel. And that's going to be a very intense ring of fire solar eclipse happening on the 20th of April, conjunct Jupiter, which kind of makes Jupiter like, kiboshed a bit, and he's already invisible, and now he's eclipsed as well. So that's intense energy around the 20th of the month in your house of good spirit, and yet it's also connected to your 12th house of foreign lands and also revenue from those lands. It's a complicated eclipse, so check in with me for that in the all signs. But it could also mean that over the 6 months that follow, a friend will leave your life, but we're not, or a teacher will leave your life. But we're not going to worry about that because that's a whole probably an hour and a half video coming later this month of April. And that's about it. Also, all the moons and all the eclipses are always a la carte, separate from these longer, these 15-minute ones each month. If you are wanting to check out my description box, my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter is so great for you. You get a weekly forecast from me every week. Why not? Why not? And then you get discount codes and special advance notice and gifts from me all the time, things you don't get if you're not on my weekly Cosmic Moonshine forecast newsletter. And every Patreon person gets all of my content ad-free up to a month in advance. Sometimes the lowest is 3 days in advance. For $5 a month, and you get to meet with me twice a month. So yeah, come check out all the shit in my description box. Some of it might interest you. Thanks, Gemini. I hope you're going to have a wonderful month of March. Hang in there. Venus is loving you up.